To my Black Americans, my gorgeous Black men and women in America, I just want to say you guys are so fucking resilient. It's so shameful how dishonest our history books are about what happened in this country, what happened to Black Americans, how we treated people, and how this country came to be. It is so shameful. I finally am reading the 1619 Project. I've had it on my bookshelf for like a couple years, and I read a ton. And finally, I got into it, and it just... whew. The fact that when we wrote our Constitution, when white men wrote our Constitution and had the audacity to say that men are created equal, all men are created equal, while those same people writing those lines owned human beings, enslaved human beings, the hypocrisy is just fucking astounding. The way that these people are framed as heroes, despite the grotesque abuses that they committed, it is like insane and disgusting. And the fact that Black Americans, even though they were treated like, there's no word. It's not, they weren't treated like animals. They were just absolutely fucking
Never learned in high school or college, for that matter.
How many of you all saw me and knew that this was about to go wrong for some translucent glowworm? And a translucent glowworm that actually puts mediocre in their name, this can't turn out good. Let's get it.
The United States had a census in 1830. In 1830, 3,379 free black men owned 12,795 slaves. At that time, there were about 27 million whites in America.
How many white people did he say was in America in 1830? Because the census from 1830 only put the population of the country at 12,888,020. And of those, 2,009,043 were...
Yes, what really happens when someone tries to rewrite history? Welcome back to this channel. I hope you are all doing good. Kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share. What really happens when someone tries to rewrite history and gets called out in real time? That is exactly what went down when a white veteran stepped forward with a bold and controversial take on slavery, only to be met with immediate, unapologetic pushback from Black Americans who were not about to let it slide. So guys, stay tuned because this exchange gets intense and the response even stronger. So guys, let's get into these clips. I'll be coming back with more commentaries, and in case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, stay tuned.
Tortured for so long, and the fact that they believed in the ideals that were written in that Constitution, despite how they were treated for so long, and that they fought for this country to live up to those ideals. This country would not be anything. This country wouldn't be fuck shit without Black Americans fighting nonstop for centuries, for generations, for equality. And we're not there. We're not even close. We're not there. Black Americans actually believe in democracy. They actually believe in equality. They actually believe in freedom. I just have to say it's remarkable. And Black Americans are so strong. It's incredible. It is incredible how strong you guys are. I'm sorry I'm crying. It's just thinking about it all is just insane to me. What generations of Black Americans have been through and what they continue to go through, and the gaslighting is just crazy. At the beginning of the 1619 Project, the author wrote that if we would only be honest about the history of this country, then we might have the opportunity to live up to the ideals that we claim are the foundation of our society. And we'll never live up to those ideals until we are honest about our history. And I just agree with that so much. I don't understand what everybody's so afraid of. Why are people so afraid to tell the truth about our history, about white supremacy, about whiteness? If this country ever wants to live up to the ideals that it claims it stands by, then we've got to tell the truth. I love my Black Americans, and I totally understand the anger and the helplessness and the frustration and just anything and everything y'all feel like. I totally understand. I don't understand from personal experience, obviously, but I understand just thinking about it, conceptualizing it, considering what you guys have been through for so long and how that would make me feel. Anyways, if anybody has any more book recommendations written by Black Americans talking about the real honest history of America, talking about racism, talking about feminism, just honestly fantasy books, fiction novels, anything written by Black Americans, I want to consume as much as possible. Of course, I'm going to go look stuff up on my own, and I have lots of books on my bookshelf already, but just if anything's ever, really landed with anybody watching this that they would consider like mandatory reading, please let me know, because I will jump on it immediately.
Slaves. So if I subtract this 2,009,043 from the 12,866,020, I come up with 10,856,977. So the math ain't mathing already on your 27 million BS claim. Now let's get back to your math. Let's say that I give you the fact that 12,795 slaves were owned by 3,379 black people, and I subtracted that number from your 2,009,043 slaves. That would still leave 1,996,248 slaves being owned by white people. But we'll come back to that.
385,000 owned slaves. That was 1.4% of the entire population. But the point is, you cannot know whose ancestor did what to whom.
What? You can't know whose ancestors did what to whom? What more?
As we continue watching, guys, this is a heated moment that turned into a powerful clapback as Black Americans responded to a white veteran who attempted to downplay and denigrate the history and impact of slavery. What started as a bold claim quickly spiraled into a reality check filled with facts, emotion, and unapologetic truth. So guys, in this video, we're just here to break down the confrontation, the responses that followed, and the deeper historical context that continues to shape these conversations today. The reactions are raw, the message is clear, and the discussion is one you don't want to miss. So guys, this is not just about one exchange. It's about history, accountability, and the voices that refuse to be silenced. Just watch till the end to see how the situation unfolds. Let's get into these clips. I'll be back with more commentaries. Stay tuned.
One of my ancestors was sitting on the Supreme Court when the Dred Scott decision was handed down. Who do you think enacted the Fugitive Slave Act? Their ancestors literally sent postcards around the country with the degrading and dehumanizing things they did to my ancestors to show all their friends. What in the entire fuck are you talking about?
Because in 1830, 3,300 black men owned 12,700 slaves. That means they went and bought them. They bought their own people, and they enslaved their own people right here on American soil.
You talk about high school. What about things you never read in your entire existence? Like this book by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, which talks about free Negro owners of slaves in the United States in 1830, which the concept of benevolent slavery is explained. See, when you've been kidnapped and dragged across the Atlantic in chains and enslaved in a foreign land that even if you could somehow become free, you never can get back home, you learn to use the system that has been used against you. See, the enslaved black people in this country, they understood your capitalism long before you even understood our language. And slaves that were permitted to earn money in their spare time sometimes made enough money to buy their freedom. And another route, after buying their freedom, they earned money to buy the freedom of their friends and relatives. And if you take the time to even dig further, you will find out that some who bought slaves in this way didn't formally free them for years, partially because freemen paid higher taxes than slaves or white people. Courts since colonial times had recognized the right of free black people to own slaves. This gave rise to an odd arrangement in which people lived as free but were legally somebody else's property. Also of note, between 1800 and 1830, slave states began to restrict manumission, seeing free black people as potential fomenters of slave rebellion. Now you could buy your friend, but you couldn't.
So is the situation, guys. A white veteran speaking confidently makes statements that many people feel are dismissive, even disrespectful towards the realities of slavery and its lasting impact. So now, moments like this don't exist in a vacuum. Slavery is not just a topic from the past. It is a deeply rooted part of history that still shapes conversations, communities, and lived experiences today. But what really sparked outrage was not just what was said, it was how it was said. Almost immediately, the response came in, and it came fast. Black Americans across social platforms and indirect replies began pushing back, and we are seeing challenging the narrative and demanding accountability. Some responses were calm and educational, breaking down historical facts and explaining why statements like those cannot just be brushed off. Others, much more direct, they made it clear minimizing slavery or speaking on it without understanding its full weight is not just ignorance, it is harmful. Yes, so this moment quickly turned into something bigger than just one person's opinion. It became a reflection of a larger issue: how history is remembered, who gets to speak on it, and what happens when that history is challenged or distorted. You know, for many, this was not just about correcting a statement. It was about defending truth, about honoring ancestors, and refusing to let painful history be downplayed or rewritten. Because for those affected, this is not distant history. It is generational reality. And here is where things really shifted. The pushback was not just emotional. It was powerful, informed, and united. Voices came together to say, enough is enough. They highlighted facts, they shared perspectives, and reminded everyone watching that conversations about slavery require awareness, require respect, and responsibility. And the veterans' words may have sparked the moment, but the response defined it. Yes, and in the end, this situation leaves us with an important question. How should history be talked about in today's world? Because one thing is clear, people are no longer staying silent when it comes to issues that matter. Now we want to hear from you. Was the response justified, or do you think that the situation was misunderstood? Kindly drop your thoughts in the comments, guys, and let's talk about it. And if you found this breakdown insightful, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on more real conversations and trending stories. We'll see you in the next one. Also, subscribe